Welcome to Prompt Therapy with Brittany Webb, the podcast where strategy meets soul, faith meets innovation, and honest conversations shape extraordinary journeys. I'm Brittany Webb, author, CEO, entrepreneur, creator of Prompt Therapy, wife of nearly 2 decades, mom of 3, and my primary why, only second to God's purpose for my life. I built this show for those who are building something too. A business, a dream, a new chapter, a story needing faith, alignment, and purpose, and trying to figure out how to do it all with both grit and grace. Around here, we talk about what it really takes to create meaningful work, the pivots and the prayers, the plans that fall apart, and the ones that build something better. This is a space for candor, authenticity, and reflective practice, and radical growth. It's where we explore how AI can become a tool for transformation, how systems can truly serve people, and how the stories we live can become the legacies we leave. So grab your coffee, and I'll grab mine in one of my favorite coffee mugs, and settle in and walk with me. This isn't about being perfect. It's about purpose. And together, we're going to chase it, build it, and maybe even laugh through the awkward moments along the way. Well, here we are. Not exactly how I pictured it, but maybe that's the best place to start. Diane Keaton once said in one of my favorite movies, Something's Gotta Give, the best writing comes from awkward moments. And here I am, in one. I had all these props planned for my photo shoot on day one at a new job. They were scattered across the table, ready to pack up and take with me. And now they're scattered here with me as I sit down to record this first episode. None of them are wasted though. They're all little markers of who I am and what I love. So first, we will go on an Easter egg hunt of Brittany. So my bracelet is Hidden Truth Jewelry, and on the back is a message that says, "Love never fails." I just love this piece. It's super special in the sense that it's a daily reminder that even in the detours, even in the delays, that love is still the point of it all. And then there's one of my favorite coffee mugs with this little curious little creature at the top that's peeking out. And it brings me so much joy in so many ways because I'm certainly a butterfly girl. But I'm also a big fan of slow mornings, curiosity, and finding surprises in the places you least expect them. And then we have to mention my Florida Gator alma mater shout out in the mix too, even though it's been a really hard season in Gainesville so far. But loyalty runs deep for me, and it's a part of who I am. And then we have to mention my books. As an author, I have self-published Mama Knows Best and The Uncommon Affair, the OG, the book that started it all, sitting here as a reminder of how far we've come. And in honor of the new launch with Golden Ray Publishing, Prompt Therapy, The Uncommon Affair with AI, and the complementing workbook, The Uncommon Affair with AI Prompt Therapy Workbook, that will be launching later this week. And of course, there's the thread that always runs through my story, my love of fashion and style, taking me back to my Delta Gamma sorority and cabbie days. Not for the trends necessarily, but because it's another language for me. It's a way of expressing who I am without having to say a word. Every piece I easily and thoughtfully selected shows me that I have come so far, and I am so proud of this woman sitting before you. And these are just pieces I share with you of a bigger story God is calling me to write. And although they are not being photographed at the start of the new journey as I had originally visualized, here they are, showcased and repurposed, not wasted. inspiration instead of set dressing, because who I am hasn't changed. But how and where I present her today, that's a whole different story. One I didn't plan, but God did. You see, I had been planning what I thought was an escape, a safety net, a soft landing disguised as a 40-hour work week. I know that sounds terrible. I wanted a culture that felt rich and life-giving, a team to grow roots with, a space to breathe. And I even wrote it down. There's a sticky note on my desk that says, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Matthew 11:28. I've prayed that prayer more times than I can count. And you know what? I got the rest I was asking for. But it didn't come packaged as a job offer like I thought it would. It came as a pause, a deep breath, a restructuring of my plan so that I could receive rest before the next season started. And as that rest settled in, another verse stared back at me. This one from the page my Bible's been open to for a week, sitting on my desk. Haven't I commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Joshua 1:9. That verse felt like a whimper, or maybe the nudge I needed, because somewhere along the way, I knew I probably wasn't going to get that job. And I knew it not because I wasn't qualified or ready, because I was for both. I knew because it would have redirected me from the very thing God called me to build. And once I accepted that, the signs showed up everywhere. A conference that I recently attended was full of God's presence and divine reminders that I was in the right place. My prompt therapy book was finalized ahead of schedule and launching earlier than expected. I received a premature text that said that Blind, the app I'm building, might be ready to launch ahead of schedule. And instead of excitement, I heard, "Slow down," and I felt calm and gratitude. And we took our foot off the gas and decided to coast a little longer because I heard what he wanted me to hear. And I want it to be built right. And I want to launch strong. And I want it to last. So here I am, like so many of us, craving an easier road, a more familiar path, the one that would give me instant stability, and yet I'm grateful because God's provision doesn't always look like the plan we wrote down or found along the way. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future, Jeremiah 29:11. And if I'm honest, I can almost hear him saying, "Okay, Brittany, I gave you rest. Did you enjoy your break? Good. Now get back to work. I've called you to share your beautifully made in my image self and the gifts I have bestowed upon you, all of them, with the world. Share my message through your mess. Share how I reached you through the trending tool of AI, how you were able to weave my words into something called prompt therapy and heal yourself through the army of support I gave you in family, friends, and partnerships. Share how that reflective practice created a framework that could change the way people use AI for good, not evil. Share how you built a business, developed an app, and turned your story into something that helps others heal and grow. So here I am, one day at a time, not where I thought I'd be, but exactly where I'm supposed to be. And that's where we're starting this podcast. Not at the destination, but in the middle, in the messy, beautiful, humbling, holy middle, where God takes our detours and turns them into divine direction. If today's conversation met you where you are, if it reminded you that God's plans are still unfolding, even when the path changes, then I'd love to keep walking through this journey with you. Subscribe now so we can go along together. You can find more of my story, the tools I've built, and the ways to start your own reflective prompting practice at becreativesystems.com and prompttherapy.ai. And if you're ready to learn more, the Kindle edition of Prompt Therapy, The Uncommon Affair with AI is live today. And the print version of both Prompt Therapy, The Uncommon Affair with AI, and The Uncommon Affair with AI Prompt Therapy Workbook will be available later this week for purchase on barnesandnoble.com and Amazon. It's a great place to start exploring how prompt therapy came to life. I'd love to share more as a guest speaker, so make sure you visit BrittanyPWebb.com to book with my Calendly to have a coffee chat with me so we can explore all the wonderful ways we can work together. Until next time, keep building, keep reflecting, and keep showing up for the story God's writing through you. Thank you and have a wonderful day.